Hey guys, it's Denise. I am back and pissed the fuck off. As you can see from the title, this is a book haul, and I filmed this video twice already. Once it's recorded and it's still somehow on my computer. I just can't figure out how to get it from my photo booth to my iMovie so I can edit out all the extra shit that I had going on. It was funny, it had jokes, I was looking kinda cute. And I can't even share that with you. So I was pissed about that. I spoke about this in my second video. My computer screen is cracked. It was cracked for like about 2 weeks, and so a little bit after I filmed the video the first time, I cracked it because I fell asleep with it in my bed and the charger cord was in there and just a whole bunch of shit. Well, when I realized that I had to just film this again, I kind of bumped it and it didn't like flop on the ground. It kind of just bumped because my floor is pretty low to the ground because that's how I like it. It bumped and the crack that was just on this side spread to the other side, so I'm fucking pissed about that. But the third reason I'm pissed is because, like I said, I just fucking recorded this video 40 minutes ago. I just recorded a happy book swap unboxing. Go get ready to fucking edit this video that was recorded 40 minutes ago, and this shit is nowhere in my fucking computer. Nowhere. I can't find it to import. I don't even know what the fuck. I don't know. So if you're seeing this bullshit somehow saved. If you're not seeing this, I'm just talking for no reason then. But anyway, let me get into this fucking video. Fucking books. The first book I'm going to talk about is from My Autopilot author, and I'm going to try to get through this shit pretty fucking fast. There's quite a few books up here. But that is just Instinct by Sherilyn Kenyon. You guys know she's an autobot. She's a favorite author of mine besides Twilight. Getting me back into reading, like, Sherilyn Kenyon's Dark Hunter series kind of like sealed the deal in my love for reading. Like, it's a million books long, and this is the spin-off to it. This is her young adult novel, and I'm still hooked and I'm still loving it. And characters, just I love it all. This is the 6th book in the Chronicles of Nick series, and the Chronicles of Nick series, like I said, it's just a spin-off of her Dark Hunter series, and it's starring a side character from the Dark Hunter series that I loved so fucking much until like 8 books down the road when something happened and he just turned into a straight bitch, and I don't like him anymore. And so this is like his book, this is like his series redeeming himself, but she went back to when he was a teenager, and so she's just gonna do this whole series. I was under the impression it was only gonna be 10 books. I think I checked her Goodreads and it says 15 now, and I'm just like, what the fuck, why so many? But I'm here for it. But yeah, this is the 6th book. I still haven't read the 5th book, but I really need to, because the 5th book just sounded really good. But I'm not going to read the synopsis to this because I don't want to spoil myself for whatever might have happened in the 5th book. The next book is God Save the Queen by Kate Locke, and I don't know much about it besides the fact that it's like steampunk-esque. It happens to deal with, you know, over in England or whatever, and it paranormal. So I'm not familiar with steampunk. That's not a genre of books that I have like ventured into, but I saw that this had paranormal aspects like werewolves, vampires, goblins, and stuff like that, and that I do. So I figured, why not introduce myself into the steampunk world with all of the extra paranormal lovies. And no, I have not did the, what's the lady name who got all the popular books that the TV show coming out. I ain't even finished that series, but I think that's kind of steampunky. But yeah, anyway, back to this shit. The next book I have is Dinner with a Vampire. That's the title of this book. The series is The Dark Heroine. I was so annoyed because I kept calling this The Dark Heroine, like calling this the book, but the title is Dinner with a Vampire, and the series is called The Dark Heroine by Abigail Gibbs, and vampires is just right in the title, and I was kind of pulled in when I saw vampire. So yeah, I'm gonna read that with Tracy from Vampire Tracy. But the next 2 books are books in the Joe Ledger series. by Jonathan Mayberry. I think this is book 1, Patient Zero, and this is like book 3 or something. Like I said, it was a sale, and this was cheaper than book 2. So I went with this, and I figured I can always order all the other ones on in between. I still haven't read the Rotten Ruin series, but I plan on it. The next book I'm going to talk about is a book that's the final book in a series that I started in 2011, and some people love it. A lot of folks hate it. I happen to be on the in-between. It's not the best series, but I enjoyed it because it stars one of my favorite paranormal creatures, and that is angels. And yeah, it's just the finale, and that's the 4th book in the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick. And this isn't the series that I just bought the book just to buy the book. I do plan on continuing the entire series. That's the only reason I bought it. If I didn't, I wouldn't have bought it. The next book I got is a book that was like, I won't say super hyped up, but it was pretty hyped up because one of the somewhat popular booktubers here wasn't a big fantasy reader, and they read this book and they enjoyed it and they talked about it, and then everybody else started talking about it and everybody else started hauling it, and I was just like, I'm gonna read that because I kind of sort of can trust this particular booktuber's judgment. I don't trust too many of the popular booktubers' judgment because I know the shit that go on YouTube, and I know folks get paid for stuff and they just be and that is A Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. You guys should know this semi-popular booktuber I'm talking about. That is just Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey, and like I said, I really enjoy Lainey's videos. I'm kind of behind on all her videos, but she really recommended this book. She said she wasn't a fantasy lover and this was easy to read. Like, a lot of fantasy is not that easy to read. It's just not, and that's kind of sort of why I stay away from it. It's a lot of world building. Now, I like good world building, but when it's so much that I can't keep up, along with the pronunciation of names and cities, and just, it's overwhelming sometimes to read. So I'm hoping this is as easy to get into and as good as Lainey says, because like I said, I kind of trust her judgment. So yeah. The next book is a book that's the 3rd, I think it might be the final in this series, or I don't know, it might be a couple more coming. I don't know. I can't even remember the name of the first book in the series. And that is Dead of Winter by Kresley Cole. And this is an Arcana Chronicles series, and you guys should know, was it earlier this year or late last year that I read that? I think it was earlier this year. And I really, the book, what the fuck is book 1? Poison Princess. Haha, reading is fundamental, Denise. But I really enjoyed Poison Princess. I really only read it because it was in a bargain section. I really only read it because I was interested in it. I didn't expect to enjoy it the way I did. It has so many elements, and like I said, when it's too much stuff going on, it's hard for me to keep up and I kind of get frustrated. But with Poison Princess, it wasn't. It was really intriguing, and I just kept saying like, well, ooh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna do this? I mean, it was dystopian-esque. It was definitely post-apocalyptic. Like, post-apocalyptic and dystopian books are not the same thing all the time or whatever. So it had a dystopian feel. It also has, it was mainly a post-apocalyptic type book because some shit went down. It had like zombies in it. It had supernatural shit. It had magic. It had flesh-eating humans, cannibals. I couldn't think for a second. And it just had a whole bunch of stuff. It had some, sorry, showing too much, but it had serial killer going on. It was a mystery. It was just so much stuff going on, and normally that would overwhelm me, but I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it enough to, when I saw book 2 on Book Outlet, I bought it earlier this year, and book 3, and I cannot wait. And they're not that big, so whenever I get to sit down and read it, I'm probably just plow through it, all of them. Well, the last 2. The next book I'm going to talk about is the 4th book in a series that I just started a few months ago. You guys will see in a second. It was the first book I really enjoyed. The second book, I just talked about that in my wrap-up for October. By the way, there will not be a November wrap-up because I read not a damn thing, and I'm okay with it. But I didn't really care for book 2. I won't say I didn't care for it because it was still really good, but the main character in book 2 irritated my fucking soul. So yeah, I still decided to continue on with the series because I'm hoping that this particular character is written better, that she grows and she learns, and she's not so... She was acting like a toddler a lot in that book, and that is just the Charlie Davidson series, and this is Fourth Grave Beneath My Feet by Dorinda Jones. And like I said, this is the 4th novel in the Charlie Davidson series, and Charlie Davidson is just a private investigator. She solves these murder mysteries, but the court to her is she can see dead people. Not only can she see dead people, she is a Grim Reaper. So this big one I have is from a author that I have only started. I got through maybe a quarter of one of his books last year, and he's very, very, very well known, very popular, very well loved worldwide. Plenty of adaptations of his book have been made on movies, big screens, made for TV. I pretty much just gave it all away, but it's Stephen King. I had a cute little segue that I did in my other video that I'm just too annoyed to even do this video. But I got this because I saw it on sale. I plan on either getting book 1 or maybe downloading the audiobook or the ebook from the online library. I plan on doing one of the two, but I couldn't pass this up. I really enjoyed what is the original? The Shining. I enjoyed The Shining, the movie, even though the one with Jack Nicholson, it's said, well, it's not a rumor because I think I read where it was actually quoted that he said he did not care for that rendition of it, and he kind of like gave a thumbs up for a made-for-TV one. I own both of those movies, and I love both of them. Sue me. But I decided, I figured if I get into any Stephen King novels, I should probably start with that because that's one that's well known to me, and it's one that I love. And then I'm gonna try to read The Shining, and then I'm gonna go into Dr. Sleep. This is just book 2, and if I'm not mistaken, it follows the sun. I can't remember his name right now, and I'm not gonna look in the book. The second to the last book, got through this faster than the second time, is a book that I kept eyeballing. Well, not really eyeballing. I saw it and I put it in my cart. They only had like maybe 10 copies the first time I saw it. I put it in my cart one day, planning on coming back home. I put it in my cart at work, and I planned on coming home and buying it. I forgot about it. Went back like the next day to buy it. It was gone. But like 2 days later, they had another shipment of them, or however that goes with Book Outlet, and I jumped on it. I bought this, and I bought another one to justify me paying for the shipping. So I was just like, yes. And that is V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic. You all know who V.E. Schwab is. She's Victoria Schwab. Victoria Schwab. I think what books did she write under Victoria Schwab? Fuck, I can't remember that. The last book, you guys should know that there probably was not a book haul in the month of November without this particular book. I mean, it just, you weren't gonna see a book haul from me without this particular book, because you guys should know how I feel about this particular series. You guys should know how I feel about this particular book. Just no words. I'm just gonna show you, and that is Winter by Marissa Meyer, and this is the 4th and final book in the Lunar Chronicles. This is massive. These freaking, the paper is thin. I only read like 10 pages or whatever. I was so afraid that I was gonna rip it because they're like super thin. But you guys know I'm so here for this book. Like, do you see that hand? Like, everybody should know by now, Winter is the Black Princess. Yes, the Black Princess from the Lunar Chronicles. And I really, really, really appreciate Marissa Meyer for this, because it's not like, I almost fixed my lips to say that there are no novels with lead characters in the fantasy world that are black girls. Whatever, there are. they just aren't a part of a well-popular series that people on BookTube are ranting and raving over, that little girls who are not my skin complexion are dying to get, well, I won't say dying, but they're trying their best to get their hands on. This is probably on plenty of little girls' Christmas list, and like, I'm just so here for this. And even though this is like fantasy, like, I won't say otherworldly, but people do live on a moon in the series, so maybe it is otherworldly, and she couldn't really technically write it stereotypical, but I always find that when I find a black person in a novel written by a white author, the black person is always written stereotypical. I can't say that for any other person of color, because I honestly have not read many books with people of color that aren't black. I will honestly say that weren't just like little bitty side characters with like a paragraph for somebody explaining how that person looked. Never. And honestly, I'm just here for it. I really appreciate her. Like, to other people who are probably watching this and probably reading, nobody understands it. It's just, I don't recall when I was little having novels like this or whatever. Every novel I read that was popular, that was well talked about in school and, you know, in the library, was all of white preteens and teenagers and all of that. So this just gives me hope for the little girls that look like me. Like, I'm sure they're probably smiling. If not, I'm smiling enough for all of us. But yeah, so I just don't know, because if I keep going, I'm gonna keep fucking gushing and not saying much besides I'm so here for this right now, because I'm so fucking here for this right now. But I'm gonna stop. I've been staying off of my Instagram and Twitter because my Twitter is mainly bookish, because I don't need no spoilers. I'm not here for the spoilers of any kind, but especially not of this one. Yeah, guys, that is it for this haul. This shit better stay in my computer so I can edit it and upload it. If you guys have read any of these books, do not spoil me, but let me know if you liked it, or let me know what you didn't like about it without spoiling it. I'm gonna try to always say this in all of my hauls and or unboxing videos, but if you ever see any book that I mention in a haul or unboxing that I say I have not read, that you own, that you have not read, and you know, we join BookTube so we can meet other readers, not just so you can watch me unhaul and stuff and talking about it, but if you want to do like a buddy read, I am so here for that. Like, we can do it. I got a Twitter, that will be linked below. I have an Instagram, that is always linked on all of my stuff. I have a Snapchat. I have 2 Snapchats. I have one I just created last week to go specifically with this YouTube channel, so that when I'm not uploading and you guys are like, well, what the hell is going on with the niece, you can see that ain't shit going on. I'm just not recording. But if you are not subscribed and you like book hauls and unboxings and occasional drinking of the wine and ranting and raving and the occasional awkwardness of a black girl, just hit the subscribe button. Like, it's more to come. We'll talk about where I want to take my channel in another video, but this shit is getting long, so I gotta stop. Bye!